Welcome back to the Buffalo Wild Wings Extra Point. The Green Oaks Giants have been one of the most improved teams in the Arklatex so far this season. The Giants hold a 3-2 record with their only 2 losses coming at the hands of 5A competition. Now, they played just 2 home games all season long, and they'll get tested this week playing Class A juggernaut in Haynesville. Last year, the Tornado outlasting the Giants 22-16 here in Shreveport. The game this year is out in Haynesville.
We basically found our rhythm. Guys have just stepped up, and we found our rhythm, and hopefully that continues. It's always a challenge. We're going into their home, and it's always a challenge. You know, those guys have all the state championships and things like that, and we're just looking to go in and play a great game. We have to be perfect. We have to be perfect. We have to play a perfect game, and no mistakes. We have to have a clean game.
The Giants, as I said, go on the road to take on Haynesville on Friday night. Kickoff set for 7 o'clock. Over in Texas, the Jefferson Bulldogs are off to a fast start. They're now 5-0 on the season and are scoring points in bunches. In fact, the Bulldogs are averaging just under 50 points per game. This week, they get a shot at a Hugh Springs team that has dropped 3 straight games. But Coach Jimerson says, don't let that fool you. He knows the Bulldogs could have their hands full with the Mustangs Friday night.
We know they like to run the football, so defensively, we're going to have to slow them down in the run game. And then offensively, what they run really requires you to be a lot of really discipline on defense. And that's something we've been preaching to our guys is, this game is not going to come down to talent. It's going to come down to you doing your job every single time.
The Bulldogs and Mustangs Friday night in Jefferson. Kickoff for that one set for 7:30. Now, we had quite a bit of movement in this week's Top 6 Power Rankings. We have 1 newcomer and several teams knocking on the door for next week. Here are this week's Top 6 teams in the Arklatex.
Number 6, the Houghton Buccaneers.
The Bucs have been one of the hottest teams on offense all season. That is until the second half Friday night against Evangel, falling 49-19. Houghton looks to bounce back Friday on the road at Franklin Parish.
Number 5, the Pleasant Grove Hawks.
The Hawks bounce back in a big way on Friday with a 49-0 win over Chapel Hill. But the competition ramps up as PG goes on the road to number 1 Carthage.
Number 4, the Evangel Eagles.
The Eagles enter the rankings for the first time since week 1 after a pair of impressive wins. Evangel now 2-0 in district play after Friday's win over 6th-ranked Houghton. The Eagles will get tested again on Friday when they welcome Airline to Durand Field.
Number 3, the Nashville Scrappers.
The Scrappers have been one of the most impressive offensive teams in the Arklatex so far this season. Nashville averaging 48 points per game. But maybe their biggest test of the season will be this Friday night as they play host to a very good Robinson team.
Number 2, the Northwood Falcons.
The Falcons remain at number 2 despite nearly blowing a 21-point fourth-quarter lead Thursday at home against Benton. Northwood needed to stop the Tigers on a 2-point conversion with less than a minute to play to secure the win. Falcons travel to Woodlawn on Friday nights.
Number 1, the Carthage Bulldogs.
The Bulldogs remain in the number 1 spot after a bye week this week. The Dogs averaging 51 points per game so far this season. Carthage will put their 30-game win streak on the line Friday night as they play host to 5th-ranked Pleasant Grove. There you have it, the top 6 teams in the Arklatex. Log on to arklatexhomepage.com to see the rankings broken down by each state. Still to come on the Extra Point, Rashid Bonnet made what could be the best catch of the year Saturday night. Louisiana Tech's win over North Texas. We hear from the Bulldogs receiver coming up next.